this lecture, I am going to discuss about the Fourier transform of periodic signals. And first I will be discussing about the definition of the Fourier transform and delta functions in frequency domain, how they manifest in time domain, and Fourier transform of a periodic pulse train, periodic impulse train. Then Fourier transform of a periodic rectangular signal. Rectangular signal means basically this is a pulse signal or rectangular waveform or rectangular signal. Then Fourier transform of a periodic square wave or signal. So here I will start with one example, because from this example you can understand the derivation of Fourier transform of a periodic signal easier. So I will start with this, and this problem is we have to compute the inverse Fourier transform of a delta function at omega equal to 0 in frequency domain. So this statement can be written in relations like capital X of omega equal to delta omega. So there is a impulse function, unit impulse in frequency domain. Okay, then we have to find the inverse Fourier transform. So we have to write the synthesis equation here. This is a time signal x of t is given by 1 by 2 pi integration capital X of omega e to the power of plus j omega t d omega. Now substitute the delta function here for this Fourier transform. Then this delta function, what it means, this is a delta function where the argument equal to 0, that means omega equal to 0. So when that means omega equal to 0, so what I have to do, and I want to substitute, so this value is 1 at omega equal to 0. So substitute this value 1 here and put omega equal to 0 here. So e to the power of 0t and 1 here. Okay, so this itself is 1. So finally I have 1 by 2 pi. So this is what 1 by 2 pi is a constant. It is a constant signal or a DC signal whose amplitude is 2 pi and which is the inverse Fourier transform of the delta function in the frequency domain. Okay, so that is what 1 by 2 pi is a constant value, is the inverse Fourier. This is the time waveform for the Fourier transform of delta function. Now if I take 2 pi here, I can say 1 and 2 pi into delta omega. So delta omega you are multiplying with by 2 pi. So when you scale this, then it is equal. This corresponds to inverse Fourier transform of unity here. That is what you have. Now consider another example, similar example. Here we want to compute the inverse Fourier transform of delta function at omega equal to omega naught, at omega equal to minus omega naught also. Okay, so as per the given statement, what is given here, Fourier transform equal to a delta function at omega naught, means mathematically capital X of omega equal to delta omega minus omega naught. This is the meaning of that. Okay, so then you substitute in the inverse Fourier transform equation or synthesis equation. I have 1 by 2 pi here. In this integral I have to capital X of omega to substitute. So substitute in this a delta function at omega equal to omega naught. So what is this here? Omega minus omega naught equal to 0 I have to write. The argument always I should keep 0. Then omega equal to omega naught. That is how you have to write. Now this is equal to unity at what? At, this is unity at omega equal to at omega naught, is a unity at omega naught. So substitute for omega naught and substitute 1 here for the delta function. So we have 1 by 2 pi e to the power of j omega naught t. So this is what we have. That means the given signal or given shape in the Fourier transform domain, that is the frequency spectrum of delta function at omega naught, and the exponential, complex exponential, this is nothing but complex sinusoid you can call, or complex exponential also, as a function of time. So it is, you call it as a complex sinusoid. E to the power of j omega naught t is a complex sinusoid because you have cos theta plus j sin theta, cos omega naught t plus j sin omega naught t. You have two trigonometric sinusoids here. So that's why this is called complex sinusoid. So what it means is a delta function at omega naught equal to a delta function at omega equal to omega naught corresponds to an exponential function, a complex sinusoid in the time domain. Okay, so you take this 2 pi to the other side, send then complex sinusoidal signal, and 2 pi times, that means a delta function at omega equal to omega naught whose amplitude equal to 2 pi. So both form the Fourier transform. Okay, in the pictorial you can say this. Okay, you have this pictorial representation here. Then let us take the second case, equal to omega naught. So in this case, actually this is omega minus of omega naught here. So that's why it is plus omega naught. This is plus omega naught. So this is what the pictorial representation here, and this sinusoid at minus omega naught and e to the power of minus j omega t, they form the Fourier transform pair. So here now we are talking about the Fourier transform of periodic signals. So let us consider a signal x of t whose Fourier transform is a single unit impulse at omega naught and whose amplitude is 2 pi. Let us substitute this in the inverse Fourier transform equation. So we have substituted the Fourier transform here, e to the power of j omega t d omega, then this is equal to e to the power of j omega naught t. Just now we have seen that. Now take a linear combination. Now consider a linear combination of impulses equally spaced in frequency. So earlier I have taken only one impulse here. Now I am taking infinite impulses whose amplitudes are 2 pi ak, where ak is the amplitude of kth delta function. So what is the delta function here? Omega delta, omega minus k omega naught. So this is when k equal to 0. So when k equal to 0, it is delta omega. That means a unit impulse in frequency domain at omega equal to 0. Now when k equal to 1, then it is delta omega minus omega naught. Omega minus omega naught. Then if k equal to 2, then k equal to 2, it is delta omega minus 2 omega naught. So like that we can go on for infinite number of k values. So you will get a fundamental frequency omega naught and its harmonic, kth harmonic you will get here. Okay, so k equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. When k equal to 0, it is a d theta. So you have taken infinite number of shifted impulses. That means a set of infinite number of impulses equally spaced by omega naught. Okay, the interspacing between the two successive frequencies is omega naught. Now apply the inverse Fourier transform. So this is the equation for inverse Fourier transform. Substitute here the set of k infinite number of impulses. Then ak is a constant. First you have to do the exchange of this integral with the summation. This comes to inside and this goes to outside. First thing. So second thing is 2 pi is a constant. You have to take it out. So this is 2 pi and these 2 pi will get cancelled. I have summation outside, integration inside I have. And what about ak? ak is also constant with respect to omega. So it comes out of the integral. It stays out of the integral. Now the leftover portion is delta omega minus k omega naught e to the power of j omega t. So this is, I can say that this ak, I can write ak here, summation is here, ak is here, and what about this? For k, for example, if I take this integral for k equal to 1, it is e to the power of j omega naught. For k equal to 2, e to the power of j 2 omega naught t. Similarly, for k equal to 3, it is e to the power of j 3 omega naught t. So like that, for infinite k values, I have quotients ak's multiplied by infinite multiplied by corresponding exponential function. So this equation is nothing but Fourier series equation, correct? This is nothing but Fourier series equation basically. So I have started with Fourier transform. Now I have got the Fourier series. So thus the Fourier transform of a periodic signal with Fourier series coefficients ak can be interpreted as a train of impulses occurring at harmonically related frequencies. Impulses at harmonically related frequencies, and kth harmonic frequency has an amplitude equal to 2 pi times ak. So what it means here? So that means you can get the Fourier transform of a periodic signal from the Fourier series. So if I take an x of t periodic signal, if I know the Fourier series for that one, I can find the Fourier transform for this. How I get the Fourier transform of this? From the Fourier coefficients. So what I have to do? In the Fourier series, I have the summation, means sum of our infinite harmonics, and I have to multiply ak by 2 pi. Each Fourier series coefficient is multiplied by 2 pi, and this 2 pi ak corresponds to the amplitude of the kth harmonic. So this is the location of the harmonic. That is what is told. So in words, the Fourier transform of a periodic signal. The Fourier transform of a periodic signal x of t with Fourier series coefficients ak can be interpreted as a train of impulses. Train of impulses means infinite terms here. Harmonically placed at harmonically related frequencies here. The impulse amplitude is 2 pi times the kth Fourier series coefficient AK. Okay. That means the Fourier transform follows the Fourier series coefficients basically. Now let us take some example on this. Here we are trying to compute the Fourier transform of cos omega t. So cos omega t means what we will get from cos omega t? Cos omega t, omega t means omega naught t given here, cos omega naught t equal to e to the power of j omega naught t plus e to the power of minus j omega naught t divided by 2. This is what we have. So what it means? What is the Fourier transform of this first one? If I take for this and Fourier transform of cos function cos omega naught t is nothing but Fourier transform of the first exponential, complex exponential. This is Fourier transform of e to the power of j omega naught t divided by 2 plus Fourier transform of e to the power of minus j omega naught t by 2. Okay, so this is what, of course you can write this, you can write inside also, no problem, it is all same. So let me put this inside this, so I can put inside. Now what is this is equal to? So if you see from this, e to the power of plus j omega naught t means this is the Fourier transform. What is this Fourier transform? So this is the Fourier transform of this, and this is the Fourier transform of the second function. So I have to write this. This is 2 pi delta omega minus omega naught. And what about this? This half is there. Half it will come out actually. E to the power of j omega naught t by 2. So that half is coming out of this. Similarly here also half will come out of this. Then Fourier transform e to the power of minus j omega naught t is nothing but 2 pi delta omega plus omega naught t. So it means 2 will get cancelled here, 2 will get cancelled here. So what is the Fourier transform of this cos function? I have pi. So amplitude of frequency, amplitude of component is pi, and the impulse is located at omega equal to omega naught. There is one impulse at omega naught with amplitude pi and another impulse at omega equal to minus omega naught. So omega plus omega naught means what? Omega equal to minus omega naught. I have another impulse. So here there is a delta. This is nothing but delta function. Okay. So this is a delta function with amplitude pi, which is given here, and location is omega naught. Similarly, second delta function This is second delta function with amplitude pi. Here amplitude pi and location omega equal to omega minus omega naught. So here omega equal to minus omega naught. So I have two delta functions for cos omega t. So let's see similarly what is for the sin omega t. So you can continue like this. So if you continue, because here what is that you have sine wave. So Fourier transform of, directly I am writing it here, sine omega naught t equal to Fourier transform of, so I have to substitute the Euler's equation here, that is e to the power of plus j omega naught t plus e to the power of minus j omega naught t this is by 2 j by 2j, that is what is the expression for sine. So in this case, if you substitute the Fourier transforms here, that is half will come out of this because it's a constant, half into 2 pi and half means here actually j is also there in this, 1 by 2j 2 pi delta of omega minus omega naught, that is one thing, then plus 1 by 2j into 2 pi delta omega minus omega plus omega naught. This is what you have. Okay, now 2 will get cancelled here, then 2 will get cancelled here, so pi by j. So there are two delta functions with amplitude of pi by j here at location omega naught, and another delta function at plus at minus omega naught with same amplitude pi by j. Okay, so here pi by j amplitude at omega naught location and minus pi by j amplitude at minus omega naught location. There are two delta functions in the frequency domain of a sine wave. Now let us consider an important, a fundamental periodic waveform, that is an infinite impulse train. So what it is sum of equal amplitude impulses. There is at t equal to 0 one impulse with unit amplitude, at t equal to capital T another impulse, at t equal to capital 2t another impulse. So like that you have infinite number of impulses whose spacing between the time spacing between the two impulses is capital T. Okay, so this is capital T. So I can say that it is a periodic function with a period of capital T. Okay, now what are the Fourier series coefficients for this? The definition of Fourier series coefficients Ak equal to 1 by T, because you are taking for one cycle, that is minus T by 2 to plus T by 2. This is the given function, and this is e to the power of minus j k omega naught. So this is kth. The given function means one delta function. This is ak. Okay. This is at t equal to 0. I have at ak, and this is, if you integrate this, I can show that it is nothing but 1 by k. This is kth coefficient. Similarly, so here at t equal to 0, you will get 1 and 1. So when you area of this delta function, this area of the delta function equal to unity. That's why you are getting 1 by t into t. That is equal to 1 by t. So what it means, Fourier series coefficient, kth coefficient is 1 by t. So in this case, that is first coefficient, then second coefficient, a naught equal to 1 by t. If you substitute k equal to 1, even then you will get, because it is only time shifted version, integration becomes unity. So a1, a2, a3, everything is 1 by t. So here a naught equal to a1 equal to a2, etc., etc. Everything is equal to, all coefficients are equal to 1 by t only, equal. So that is what you have. Okay. So now, so earlier in the previous slide we got ak, the Fourier series coefficient of an impulse train. It was 1 by t, where t is the time period of the impulse train. This is ak. Now, in general, if I take a periodic impulse train, this is the Fourier transform of the periodic impulse train. What are these amplitudes? AKs. So what is this one? Basically, it is the Fourier transform of a periodic signal. It consists of delta functions at harmonics, and its amplitude is equal to the corresponding Fourier series coefficient. Now ak equal to 1 by t. Substitute for ak equal to 1 by t. I have 2 pi divided by t. Okay. So I have if I substitute 1 by k here, 2 by t. This is what is here, and omega naught equal to 2 pi by t in terms of time period. So what it means, this is another sum. It is another, again, the Fourier transform is also a summation of so many infinite impulses, but this time the amplitude is constant here. Okay, so the constant is here. So in this, the time spacing, the frequency spacing between these harmonics. What is this? This I can call this as f naught. If it is f naught, it is equal to 1 by t. Otherwise, it is, if it is omega naught, it is, I can say in angular terms, it is equal to omega naught equal to 2 pi by t. That is the spacing between two successive harmonics. Okay. So here also the spacing between these harmonics equal to 2 pi by t. So this is again 2 pi by t. So this is what we have here. So what is the Fourier transform of an infinite impulse train? It is another impulse train in frequency domain whose amplitude is equal to 2 pi by t, whose spacing is 2 pi by t. Okay, both are same in this case. Now let us take one important example. Let us compute the Fourier transform of a periodic unipolar rectangular waveform. So unipolar rectangular waveform means this is unipolar signal. That means the base level is 0 and this is plus 1. And similarly this is 0, this is 1. Everywhere you have there is no negative values here, only positive values and 0 values. So for this, according to definition, AK equal to 1 by T, AK equal to 1 by T, integration minus T by T to T by 2 x of T e to the power of jk omega naught T dt. This is the expansion further. And I mean definition of the AK here. And its amplitude between T1 minus T1 to plus T1 only 1. The remaining from here minus T by T to plus T by 2. It is the total period. In this period between minus T1 and plus T1 only it is 1. Otherwise it is 0. So this minus T by 2 becomes minus T1 and plus T by 2 becomes T up to T1. Yeah, that means the range is only between minus T1 to T plus T1. And its value is, the signal value x of T value is 1 here. Okay, so x of T value is 1 in this case, 1, and k equal to naught, k equal to 0, that means e to the power of j0. So it is again unity. If you integrate this one, you will get 2t1. So 2t, if you integrate 2t1 divided by t. So this is the DC value of this waveform. 2t1 by t is the DC value of this waveform. And if t1 increases, what happens? If t1 increases, the DC value increases. A0 is nothing but DC value. If t1 increases, say let us say this t1 is increasing like this, and this side also minus t1, it increases like this. So naturally what happens? So the DC value, average value of this one will be increasing. And on period divided by off period, what is it called? On period divided by off period. On period means how much this is? 2t1. So 2t1 is the on period. I can say this is on period. And total period is t0. Cycle period is t0. Out of t now, capital is t. So total period is t. So out of t seconds, the on period is only 2t1. So 2t1 divided by t is nothing but, you can say that this is nothing but your duty cycle. This you can call it as a duty cycle. I am calling this as a duty cycle. So duty cycle is nothing but on period divided by total period. What is the duty cycle of the given waveform? 2t1 by t. So that is what you should remember. Now what about other coefficients? Let us take AK, which is not equal to 0. That means AK1. If I take AK, in general AK, if I take, it is a sinc function to this we have already derived several times. 2 sine k omega naught t, t1 divided by k omega naught t1. Okay, now let us substitute 2 pi by t for omega naught here in the denominator and in the numerator. Then what you will get here? So here I will get k 2k pi t1, 2k pi t1 divided by t. Then here tt will get cancelled. I have, and this 2 will get cancelled and this 2 will get cancelled. I have only k pi. I have only k pi. So the kth coefficient, now I have the kth coefficient. Now I have the kth coefficient as this. Okay, it is sine divided by k pi. So which is inversely proportional to K. Now let us first say that T1 is less than T by 4. In this case here, for example, this is the case. So where is T by 2 here? This is T by 2. This is T by 2. Whereas this is T1. So T1 is less than T by 4. Where is T by 4 here? See, actually in this one, okay, let me take this. So what is one cycle here? This is one cycle. One cycle means T. This is T. What is T pi by 2? This is T pi by 2. What is T pi by 4? This is, let us say this is T by 4. This is T by 4. Okay. So this T1, this is T1. This T1 is less than T by 4. So that is what is correct. That means it is less than quarter cycle of that one. So 2T1, in this case, if I take other side T also, minus T1 to plus T1, if I take 2T1 is less than T by 2, half the cycle. 2T1 is less than T by 2, or T1 is less than T by 4. T1 is less than T by 4. So that is this one. Now in the second case, I have increased this pulse so that on period equal to off period. See here, this is the T, and half of that one is T by 2, which is pulse. There is a pulse here. This is on period, this is off period, both are equal. So that means T1 here is equal to T by 4, and here also T1 equal to T by 4. So T by 4 plus T by 4, T by 2. So here T1 equal to T by 4 or 2T1. In this case 2T1 equal to you should write T by 2, half of that. So exactly equal. So this is called square wave. This is called square wave. This is called square wave. Then what about the first waveform? So square wave means duty cycle. Duty cycle. I am writing DTC here to confuse, not to confuse with the DC. Duty cycle I am calling DTC here. This is 50%, half. This is 50% duty cycle. And in this case, this is called pulse waveform. This is called pulse waveform. Why it is called? Because on period is smaller than the half period. So in this case we are calling this as a pulse waveform, pulse wave or pulse waveform. And here duty cycle is less than 50%. Less than 50%. In the same way, if I increase the on period further, in this case this is a T on. T on is this. What is T off? T off is this. So T off is less than the T on. So naturally on period is more here. So naturally duty cycle here DTC is more than, greater than 50% here. So the wave on period, whatever is there in the on period, it looked like a rectangle now here. So that's why you can call this as a rectangular pulse. Okay, but in general any kind of thing you can call it as a rectangular waveform with different duty cycles. So this is rectangular waveform, true rectangular waveform with the duty cycle more than 50. If the rectangular waveform has duty cycle 50%, you can call it as a square wave. If the rectangular waveform has less than 50% duty cycle, you can call this as the pulse waveform. Okay, so this is the generally you can follow this. So as I discussed with you, we have three types of rectangular waveforms qualitatively. So when the on period is less than the off period, we can call that as a pulse waveform. If the on period is equal to the off period, then it is called as a square wave, and if the on period is higher than the off period, then we can call it as a rectangular waveform. So that is the what I am going to follow in this lecture, and I am showing here Fourier transforms of a periodic unipolar rectangular waveforms of different duty cycles. Here I have shown for two different types of duty cycles. That is, first one here is basically duty cycle is half, that is 50% duty cycle, and there is on and off equal periods, and this is called square wave. Okay, so in this case what we have is we can see here there is a DC term in this. This is what is DC term because it is a Fourier transform. I am not calling this as AK multiplied by something else. So this is Fourier transform at Fourier coefficient I will call. I mean it is 2 pi AK. It can be 2 pi AK. So this is basically the DC term here. This is there because you have a unipolar rectangular waveform, means you have a rectangular or square wave. Okay, so if it is like this, so I have 0 here, I have 1 here. It is not a bipolar waveform, so that it has a DC value of half of this one. Okay, half of the maximum value. So that's why you have a DC component at the center, and this is the first harmonic, this is the second harmonic, third harmonic, and fourth. So second harmonic, fourth harmonic, and sixth harmonic, eighth harmonic, all even harmonics have 0 amplitudes here. Okay, all even harmonics are 0 values here. That means even harmonics do not exist in case of unipolar square wave. Okay, then I have the first harmonic at this point, that is 2 pi A1 I can call this, and I have third here, I have fifth here, I have seventh here, like that. Okay, so in this one what you can see here is so here odd harmonics, values at odd harmonics, the Fourier coefficients at odd harmonics, they change polarity alternatively. So this is, for example, if you take, this is the first coefficient and this is the third coefficient. That means first harmonic is here, third harmonic is here, fifth harmonic is here, seventh harmonic is here. So first and fifth harmonics are positives. First, fifth, seventh, the fifth, this is seventh negative. Okay, so this is third and seventh are negative. So they are alternative sign. They are changing the sign alternatively. So if I want to draw I want to make an envelope, it looks like this. So alternated, positive coefficient, 0 here, negative coefficient, again positive coefficients, 0, it is passing through 0, always 0 crossings. So this is what is the use. You have the sinc function envelope, but because it is a periodic signal, you have only line spectrum. There are lines present, and between the lines no other frequency is available. Okay, so this is for the case of square wave. This is, and this is for square wave. So what you conclude finally in case of square wave, even harmonics do not exist, and odd harmonics, they change their sign alternatively. Now let us take the case of a pulse waveform, that is T on period is significantly smaller compared to the T off period. So this is off period more than the on period. So this is called pulse. Now in this case, because the pulse width has come down, this is smaller. This is smaller one compared to this on period. Okay, this is T on basically. This is nothing but your T on period. This is T on period, larger, and in this case T on period is smaller compared to the square wave, which I explained previously. That is in the figure A. And here, because the pulse width has reduced, here, what happened? This lobe, main lobe, has increased in width. Okay, so this is the width of this has increased now. Earlier, what was the width? So earlier this was the width. Width of the main lobe was like this. Now it has increased because T has reduced. So still, if it is further reduced, so let us say take another one, very small pulse width. If you take like this, pulse width is small, but same period here. So it comes like this. I will erase this. It's not needed. So this is small pulse compared to the previous one. Now in this case, I have still the main lobe has become wider. So this is what. So as the time waveform, that is the pulse width, reduces, the spectrum between the first null, this is the first null on the left hand side, this is the first null on the right hand side, about the 0 axis, about the DC value. Okay, so it is becoming widening. So that is what happens to that. But you have to note down that these harmonics are spaced at the same location. That means the space interspacing between the harmonics is same in this case, and in all three cases the interspacing of the harmonics is same. That is because the T has not changed. This T is same. Here also T is same. Here also T is same. Only on period, off period is changing, but actual periodic cycle period is not changing. So because of that one, the lines are separated by the same amount in frequency. Okay, so thank you. I will be discussing further on this Fourier transform on the of popular periodic signals in my next lecture. So probably I can consider more rigorously about the square wave and other triangular waves, sawtooth wave. There are popular signals there, periodic signals, which we come across frequently in communications and signal processing. So then in my next lecture, I'm going to discuss about the Fourier transforms of popular periodic signals. Thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.